but you need to wait and not hit the hole because there are things that are developing. And I took it to mean maybe the blockers, wide receivers, or whatever. Is that what you were referencing? Or
In regard to, like,
or it's like,
which,
like McCaffrey maybe last year, like, hey, you see a hole as a running back,
Right.
go run through the hole.
Right.
But like he was being taught for the first time, like, maybe not in this play. You need to actually wait, and then
Sure, yeah.
hit the hole because you might have downfield blocking. Which anyway, I just wanted to.
yeah, I'd say very few times this year has he been impatient. I'd say this year that's not happened. Now, is that why there's more yards? Is that why he's having the year he's had up to, through 4 games? I don't know that that's it exactly, but I would say that there's fewer misses. And his perspective, there's a better understanding of every play as we put it in every week. He's got a much better feel for what we're doing through training camp, off season, everything. So yeah, I would say that's probably a part of it. I don't think he's missed anything this year. I think he's been on point with all the runs. In fact, when this past week, a couple plays were supposed to do something and it wasn't there, and he took what was available and scored. So I mean, he did a great job this week.
But is that a concept of, like, I'm sure a lot of running backs in the NFL, like, run through the open hole, and you don't wait to run through the open hole? Is what you guys teach like unique or different in that respect?
No, it's just it's certain styles of plays. You know, there's a thing called with running backs. It's called in zone running. I can say this in zone running, inside and outside zone running. There's a big coaching point to press the line of scrimmage, to press the landmark. So if your landmark is the outside leg of the tight end, if your landmark is the inside leg of the guard, you want to get as close to the line of scrimmage to set the zone blocks before you make your break. So there might be a big hole that expresses itself really early in the play, but you're 3 yards deep in the backfield. That hole looks like it's there, but if you cut back to that hole, not everybody's been able to set their blocks, because it's not like everybody's going to block man. We're zoning, and he needs to draw defenders to the zone block, and then he can, then the whatever hole's there will be on people. But if he does it too soon, let's say I'm going to block, I'm double teaming someone here, and I'm getting ready to come off and block you, but the ball isn't here and you're not there, and so if he cuts back, you just go over there, and I'm stuck over here. I can't block you. But if we, sorry, microphone. But if he, but if he keeps coming, you come to me. He draws the blockers to me. That's what zone running is, and that's that patient piece that sometimes you go, holy cow, there it is. But when you hit it, we don't have half the guys blocked because you didn't draw the. It's his job in zone running to bring the blockers to us. Now, when everybody's man blocking, bang, 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 everybody's on a man. Whatever hole shows, you hit that hole. And Frank Gore, I always say Frank Gore is a great gap scheme runner and man scheme, because what hole was there was what you hit. And Frank could get through a slither that was that big, but if he saw it and he knew the play, it's like, I'm going to hit that hole, and eventually that hole may get a little bit bigger because I know the concept of the play, but it's not so much drawing what zone blocking is, which is you need to press to draw the blocker, the defenders to the blockers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So is he reading the hole, or is he reading the landmark?
He presses the landmark and he reads it. How we do it is he reads like like a gap, but he just reads it what starts to come open. So, for example, if you're going to run at the outside leg of the tight end, if there's no defender there, he's just going to run there and just keep running. But all of a sudden, the defender's there and we're blocking him out there, then he's going to kind of start to work back. And then one gap at a time, there'll eventually, we hope there's a hole. If there's not, then you just run and fall down and get 3 yards.
You hear said often that the way to attack Parsons is to run right at him. I assume that's easier said than done.
Yeah, who said that? Somebody?
Various analysts. I think
analysts
one of
have
your
said that. Okay, yeah.
one of
Well,
your players.
Yeah, I mean, they can. Yep, you can run at him.
Yeah.
He's a good player. We tried to run at him, and he beats blockers and makes tackles. So you can run away from him. He's going to run really, really fast and catch up to you when you're running away from him. There's a lot of different things you can do. You just have to make sure you account for him, like we have every other good player we play against. And he's a great player. These other great players just have a plan as to how you're going to deal with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't say every single play you run away, every single play you run at him. That wears itself out as well. There has to be a balance. You have to decide what kind of plays you run at him, what kind of plays you don't run at him, and how he defends things, what position. They move him all over the place. The position matters too. You think, oh, we're going to run this play, and Micah Parsons take advantage of X, Y, or Z, and oh crap, he's lined up at the 3 technique, or he's lined up over the center, and you're like, oh, well, that's so much for that plan. So you just have to have a well-balanced plan to take care of a great player, and that's what we'll hope to try to do. It's really, really hard because he's a great one.
Chris, how would you evaluate Colton? The numbers seem to indicate that he's struggled a little bit as a pass protector, but it also shows that you guys are averaging like 4.7 a carry running behind him. what does the film show with
You
Colton?
know, he's
How
doing a
is
good
that?
job. He's had the bad play. He's had the Pittsburgh game was an outlier. We left him alone, and he fought the best fight he could, and he lost some battles, and obviously the guy had a good day, and he beat once on Sunday. And, the rest of the day he had a really good day against the same players. And so whatever, I don't know the evaluation process and how it goes. He's not graded any better or any worse run or pass. Obviously, you'd like to not have the sack he gave up, but he did a bunch of really good things in the game as well. Everybody's got room to improve. Our whole group up front, man, we got room to improve. Obviously, Sunday there were some nice things in the protection game. We had a good game and so on and so forth. But there's just still, we got so much work to do to improve. And Colton's part of that process. He's got to get better. Jake, all of them do. They all got work to do. Trent, all of us. It's the season. It's just different. I don't know why. I don't know how to describe it. But as well as we may or may not be playing, our record's good. We can play better. And I think it's just the off season, training camp. You play your way into the year to see what you are. The good thing is, I had a very high expectation. I was really hard on the training camp. I feel we should have hit this ground running this year. But you got to play in the games. You got to get back in the game condition. You got to get a feel for how things are going this year. The defenses, how they're defending us differently based on what we did a year ago. And it's just a process. And the good thing is, I think that our jump off spot different than a year ago is higher. Where Colton is, where the inside tier 3 players are, we jump off at a higher spot. So as we go through the season, 4 games in, now we keep progressing. I think it gets better and better. So I'm not down on Colton in any stretch of the imagination. Pass protection, run game wise, he's got some work to do.
You brought up Frank Gore. He kind of had affinity for not running right into defenders. He didn't take the big hits. And is that something that it's a running back quality or a tendency? And does Christian have that same type of maybe tendency to not go straight onto a guy and maybe?
We saw 2 plays. Okay, yeah, Christian's not afraid to take a guy on, but Christian also knows how to take a hit, as you're kind of alluding to, or not make a guy. And his ability to make a guy miss, unbelievable. We ran the play where Trent was leading. We kind of ran a counter play, and Trent and he were going through the whole first, second quarter of the game. I don't remember what it was. And there was a backside safety that came down late and was free, and he kind of just jumped over him, kind of like he jumped over the guy on the swing screen we threw to him that he scored the touchdown on. There was a free guy that dove at his leg, and he just naturally picks his leg up and makes him miss and goes on to the next guy. That's the uncoachable trait. That's the trait of, holy cow, we don't stand out there and throw bags at him and make him jump over him. Heck, he has that trait, and that's what he's great. You see that on tape. You see that as you evaluate the kid. He's just got a tremendous ability to make people miss, and obviously they all do. You have to be able to avoid the big hit and know when to fight the good fight and when the fight's over.
I think you have 1 target to George, and Debo isn't targeted in passing him. Obviously, he's coming back from an injury a little bit. And this is an offense where you have so many weapons. What do you make of that when you have a game where one of them is almost not involved at all? And are guys okay with that, knowing that in the grand scheme the offense is executed?
Well, every dog has his day, I think, in our offense. I think there are days all of a sudden Debo comes out, you didn't think Ayuk a couple weeks ago, comes back from injury, you didn't expect that day. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it's the way the defense plays, sometimes it's a play called at just the right time. Other times you have the play designed for George and you call 4 of them and you catch the wrong defense. Or, you got the play designed for Debo last week and darn, you catch, it just wasn't right. And then all of a sudden, everyone you called for Ayuk, bingo, we hit the right coverage and the right play. So it's not like the plays aren't called or designed to get to everybody, and that's what the players understand. We put this play in for this coverage, we put this play in for this defense, and here we called it, and guess what? It's not there. Or guess what? You're wide open for a touchdown, and the right tackle isn't good enough, or the running back or the quarterback misses the throw, or X, Y, or Z happens, and next thing you know, it isn't there. So it's not. Well, I don't know. I've never played the Madden game or any of that stuff. I don't know what they are, but you could say I'm throwing it to George, and you can throw it to George. It just doesn't work like that. There is a coverage. You read it, you do the best you can, and some of them you can design. That's why sometimes, not force it, but you can always say, okay, I'm going to throw a screen to Debo, right? I can hand Debo the ball. You can always, but it's a little bit harder to do that with George. It's a little bit harder to do it with BA, and with Christian, same thing. You can throw him a screen. You can throw him a check down. You can hand him the football. You can guarantee his touches. With the other guys, it sometimes gets harder, but they know their day's coming, and next thing you know, George, one of these days will have a breakout day, and some will be by design, and some will just because it's the way the play played out.
For how short of a time Brock's been a starting quarterback in the NFL, is his processing to go through what you just talked about pretty remarkable?
Yeah, the guy plays the position really well. That's all I can say, that he's just a quarterback. From the time, whenever he started playing it, he just sees the field. His ability ability to know where to go with the football. I don't know what that's a product of. I don't know if it's his previous coaching. I don't know if it's his coaching now. It's probably a culmination of everything together. I always think some of it is when you look at a guy's physical abilities. You look at his height, weight, you look at his speed. You realize that as a little bit shorter guy, you know, certain things you have to be pretty quick to do, because as that pocket, you're not 6'4" Tom Brady that can stand there like a statue as the world's coming at you and still deliver the ball. You have to make quick. I don't know that that's it. I really don't. But I'm saying there's sometimes it's a byproduct of your coaching is growing up, you as a kid, and just how you survive and play the position. You learn to play the position. You learn. I need to get through my progression properly if I'm going to have the space and the pocket I need to deliver the football. And now he's taking a step to this level where now the defenders are bigger, the rush is more intense. This week, he'll know he did play against these guys last year. It's going to be very intense, and being able to make decisions and deliver the ball accurately is just something that he's learned to do over time. And it is remarkable because, some guys never learn it. Some guys are always late to throw the ball. They're just going to rely more on arm talent. They're going to wait for a guy to get open before they throw it and still get away with it, or they rely on their feet and say, I don't care if the pocket's coming in around me. I'm going to make a play. That was Manning. I mean, when I was with Peyton, sometimes you would say he didn't even let the play develop. He'd say, well, it's cover 2, this ball's going to the check down. Well, yeah, it's going to check down if cover 2 plays out like cover 2, and literally they get back there and they stop this, so then you're going to go to the check down. Peyton would sometimes say, because he'd say, well, if it was a really big rush team, I'm not going to be able to elude this rush, so I have to make the decision now. So it's cover 2, bang, 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 that ball's going to check down. It's single high, this is where the ball should go. I'm going to believe what I see. I'm letting the ball rip on single high. And I'm not going to wait because of who he was, right? He wasn't going to be able to extend plays like a Mahomes or guys. See what I'm saying? So there's all those physical limitations with a guy that then tie into how they have to play the position, understanding everything that goes into it. So sometimes you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Chris, you could
This
lead
last one.
you could lead the tight end into block. You could use your backs to block. You guys, looking at the numbers in the first month, have allowed the offensive line to be on an island largely, and you're getting 5 out in the pattern. You're making them defend the entire field, and Brock's getting rid of it quick. Why is that the plan? Why is that the preferred plan, do you think?
I think there's a lot of different reasons to do some. Again, Kyle's got a lot of different reasons for doing it. One thing is, when you're not certain, to me, this is me talking, when you're not certain what they're going to be in, if I know they're going to be in single high, and I know I could probably get fewer guys. When I don't know if I may get a 3-man rush, a 4-man rush, I may get cover 2. I mean, I need all my guys out so I can progress and have someone to go to. I leave a tight end in, all of a sudden it's not the right coverage, and I want to throw the ball to Ayuk, but now I don't have the flare control underneath it. I can't. I'm holding the ball because this guy's blocking. I may have 10 days to throw the ball, but there's nobody open. So maybe and I can't answer that question as to why we decide to do that more. I'm assuming it is for some of those reasons, because maybe you don't know exactly what they're going to be and you're trying to give your quarterback the most options. Maybe it's the way Kyle feels best about attacking that defense. Maybe it's the way we feel Brock. Those are good plays for Brock and getting the guys out with the options. And then sometimes, there's so many variables that go into it, but that's a good observation. And usually what it is, and I think that led a little bit to the Pittsburgh game, where there was a little bit of uncertainty. All of a sudden, boy, they're not playing like we thought they were going to play. We need to get these guys out to be sure. And all of a sudden now you're leaving cold. Maybe it's some more one-on-ones that we hadn't planned on doing. But boy, if we leave the chipper in there, sure, TJ Watt, but then there's nobody with the ball. You're holding the ball longer, and then the other guy starts showing up. And then it's like, well, you took care of TJ, but the quarterback didn't want to throw the ball. So that's that constant trade-off, and it's that cat and mouse game of what are they in, what do we have called, how do we get to the right play. It's not like we come to line of scrimmage every play and we aren't Peyton Manning it, right? We're not Omaha checking some other play and then throwing the ball. We know what they're in, or we're able to see what they're in. We're calling it, and he's executing it, and that's what it matters.
All right, thank you, coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.